you know, the Clinton River was the most polluted river back in the early 70s, you know, in the state of Michigan. And I don't know that anyone ever thought that you could get that to that designation.
The Clinton River, when I first started with the city of Sterling Heights, and even at the beginning of the water trail, you know, was kind of a dirty word. At that time, I don't even think we were encouraging people to go into the Clinton River. To be honest, you couldn't really paddle the river because there were so many log jams. You probably ended up carrying your canoe or kayak more than you were actually paddling in the river.
You know, the Clinton River was considered one of the most polluted in the entire Great Lakes region. And our concern was that it had been ignored for a half a century. Really what we saw was that it had become like a dumping grounds.
I remember one time we had a large group with Oakland and Macomb County staff and Watershed Council staff, and there was just so much woody debris everywhere that you could barely get down the river.
It was a large woody debris removal session, and so our task was to paddle in front of this videographer and clear the way. And about 15 hours later, it was the most time I've ever spent on that river. So it was fun, it was harrowing, it was sad, it was happy.
We actually had a consultant come in, and someone was asking questions about paddling on the Clinton River. The woman leading the adaptive paddling part was like, oh, well, you can't paddle on this river. And I was speechless.
We'd ask some professional kayakers to come into the region who do urban rivers and actually scale these urban rivers for their viability. They found over 80 major blockages. They spent more time portaging and more distance probably carrying their canoes than they actually did kayaking. They even told me when they were done that this river is not viable for recreational use, and I doubt it ever will.
Paddling was becoming a very popular sport back in 2012, 13, 14, and a lot of outlets were starting to sell a lot of kayaks for beginners, and so we saw a real exciting need there.
The first Paddlepalooza was really exciting because nobody had done anything like that in this area before, and we had a really big turnout, and I think everybody had a really great experience. I remember we paddled with my kids who were young then, and they thought it was pretty cool.
That type of paddling has dramatically increased over the course of my career, and we see a big increase, and that's a huge connection between fishing and paddling sports.
Designation means we exist. It's on the map. It's in the public forum. It's something that is to be revered and protected.
The serenity, the feeling that when you're on the river and you're paddling, you really don't know you're in an urbanized setting. It's an urban river. It's an urban environment. You're paddling through there, and there are many, many parts where, you know, you don't realize you're in an urban environment. You think maybe you're up north.
It's really important to spend time on the land, and people that live in the city don't get the opportunity to do that as much. We have parks and things like that, but this resource, Clinton River, and a few of the other rivers around, give you an experience that normally people drive 3-4 hours north of here to enjoy.
To let people know you don't have to go up north to go paddling. You can have that same experience right here in your own backyard.
It's a beautiful stretch of stream. Put your paddle up, rest, and just go with the flow, and it'll feel like you're up north. There's spots that are just completely wooded, look really good, and you know, it's very relaxing.
You're in a national park, really. The wildlife is incredible. It's just a beautiful area. And we're fortunate that so much of the surrounding property has been preserved.
I mean, it really does feel like you are up north, right here in southeast Michigan. It does really feel like you're in sort of a different plane.
And you know, the future is a very thriving paddling experience along the river. To provide a paddling opportunity that they haven't seen before, a more robust paddling opportunity, finding ways to work together to provide different types of paddling opportunities.
Water trail is so much more accessible than it was, both with launches and with navigability down the river. and also really thinking about how do we make sure that we're being ecologically conscious of the river's health when we're doing those things.
Because there's more people out on the river, there's more awareness about the river, and people are more curious about how it works and what the health of the river is, which is great for us because that's why we're here.